Welcome to LocoBuzz demo. LocoBuzz is a revolutionary map-based information fusion platform which brings in your tweets, your Facebook updates, and your news all together with a geographical context onto a map. Without further ado, let me start using LocoBuzz to give you best idea. What you see right now onto your screen is latest news from all over the world onto your map. At the base, you're seeing these news cards which are floating by. These are showing you the latest news as they're occurring and being collected by us. We are using over 300 sources of diverse information to get this news to you. And you're seeing the news coming from every country in the world. What you see now is a map of India because I'm logged in from India. One can zoom in and zoom out to any country they prefer. By default, whichever country you log in from, the system zooms you to that country. I click on these numbers which represent basically news from within that area. Let's click on 11. What happens is you get now, because you're near Bombay, you're getting news about Bombay, and as you can see the news is very fresh. For example, this is a Bollywood, which is the Indian version of Hollywood news, which says Akshay Priyanka Rani Anushka graced Radio Mirchi Music Awards at BKC Mumbai 2 hours ago. What you see are two little icons. One is View News and the other is Facebook Share. View News opens this entire news onto a new page where you can get into the details. And Facebook shares this news with your Facebook friends. Now the advantage is when you share any news of information with your friends using LocoBuzz, not only do you get the news there, but you also get a map of the area where the news is coming from. One can pan the map and go to the area of geographic region they are interested in and see what news is happening there. Now I'm off to Kabul and I'm seeing Kabul and Islamabad agree to set up a joint commission for reaching out to Afghan Taliban just 1 hour ago. One can also use the systems to search information. Let me key in Obama. What you see is IntelliSense. When you type in 3 letters, it gives you an options of what you could search for. Let me search Obama. What happens now is the system gets all the information it is collecting and saving into its vast database about Obama and plots them onto the map. What you will notice is that there's a history bar here which shows you how old this information is coming from. What you see now is within 3 days, so much information all over the world is coming for Obama. Let's reduce this to just single day because I just want to look at what news President Obama has made within the last day. As you see, the count reduces a bit. Let's click on America. News further spreads out wherever it's coming from. So what now you see is a map of Washington DC, and when I click on 17, you see 17 pieces of information coming from Washington DC. Most of them with the RSS icon, which is the news, saying seeking to show seriousness about slashing spending. President Barack Obama said Thursday that event program that works with face cuts as he looks for. Here also, it is just 11 hours ago. You can Facebook share it or you can view the details. Apart from that, what you see is these little stars. These are nothing but famous people tweeting about Obama. Now, when I hover over, I see Karl Rove tweeted 3 hours ago that SO3U unlikely to give President Obama a boost in approval rating. Further down, Alison Sudol tweeted 1 day ago, and so forth. With tweets, what is very interesting is if you like somebody's tweet, you can say, okay, I like Karl Rove's this tweet. Let me see what other tweets Karl Rove's doing. The system will fetch you live tweets as Karl Rove's doing all other tweets. At this juncture, you can either decide to follow Karl Rove or share any of these tweets again onto your Facebook wall. At any given time, you can go back to latest news by simply checking on the latest news. So what you have seen so far is an amazing tool to see news as it's happening, where it's happening with the geographical context, and the ability to search news, go back in history, and then travel back to the latest time to see how things have been happening, how a certain trend is happening. For example, let's make it more fun. Let's search for scam. Now, India particularly has been hit by a lot of scam recently. So you will see, interestingly enough, and logically enough, that most of the scam-related news is actually coming from Indian subcontinent. Almost 166 one of them, and that too within just 12 days. So this tool then, if you think, can now very interestingly be used to figure out where is terrorism news happening, where is theft happening, where are people happy, where are people struggling for jobs, where is inflation high. And you can get a very interesting historic trend on how things have changed all over the world with time. Moving on, another very interesting piece of LocoBuzz is analytics. Now, what you see here is analytics for telecommunication vertical. I have logged in onto LocoBuzz from the telecom vertical, and on your right, you are seeing a legend of Indian telecom companies. These could be any companies worldwide. We're tracking a lot of data and building a huge repository of it. What you're seeing on this chart is the news count of Airtel as it's happening different days. What you will notice immediately on 24th, especially, a lot of news for Airtel has been reported. It gets more interesting when you do a vis-a-vis comparison with other brands. Now, if you look here, what's happening is I'm trying to compare Airtel, Idea, Tata and Reliance, just the four popular brands. On the left side is the news, on the right side is the tweet. As you would notice, a lot more tweets are happening for Airtel despite the fact that very little news happens of Airtel. And Tata is appearing in the news so significantly, yet it fails to get the social presence and people are not tweeting so much so about Tata products. Similarly, one can do a market fortnightly comparison, which is also very interesting as to it gives you how your perception, product perception has changed over 2 weeks period. So you know if you have launched a marketing campaign, how influential it has been, how the perception in news coverage has changed, how the perception in the social tweet coverage has changed. Market variation is another very interesting aspect where it plots you all the news counts and then using statistical analysis finds out certain days or anomalies as to why suddenly there is a spike of information about your particular brand. Here you see suddenly, as we talked about, 24th was very special for Airtel and it's been used for quite significantly. If you now would want to know why it led to this, you simply press one button and it will pop up a news map where it will plot all the news and show you what all news were there and why Airtel was so much in the news. It's it's very powerful if you now come to think about it, because you can automatically figure out what days have been critical for your particular business and why. We are also in future planning to overlay financial information with this data so that it becomes even more interesting to see how these tweet counts and the news and why you're in the news affects your stock prices. Let's go back to LocoBuzz. I want to quickly show you another very interesting aspect of the product, which is related to tweets. Now, LocoBuzz gives you an amazing ability to talk directly to the Twitters. What happens here is you can now select and choose whether you want to talk to a Twitter of a certain brand. Say, for example, let's talk about Verizon and Sprint. Say you're Verizon and you want to be able to talk to people who are tweeting about Verizon as well as who are tweeting about Sprint. Our system gives you the ability to find out all the Twitters who are tweeting about Sprint or Verizon or Airtel, who are happy or unhappy with their customer service, if you will. We try to use some heuristics and dictionaries to figure out and get the context of the tweet. So now imagine the potential, because you pretty much have the ability to send a mention or a message to anybody who has tweeted happily or unhappily about a product, be it banking, be it fast food, be it any FMCG, be it any company where you need to directly have access and ability to talk to people. You could do that. Not just that, not just based on whether you're talking about a certain brand in a good or positive, negative way, but also on where you were when you were talking about it. So, for example, I'm Vodafone, I'm a global brand, I'm Vodafone America. I just want to focus on whoever is talking about Vodafone in, say, UK. Boom, you have the ability to choose and say, show me all the Twitters who are unhappy with Vodafone service, if you will, or are happy with Vodafone service, you will. And you can send them links to better deals, better services, and you can then track whoever has clicked on those links to know how influential your marketing campaign on Twitter has been. Uh, this is very interesting because you're sending messages to people who are actually already interested in the vertical or in your brand. So it's not really spamming, but it's very targeted marketing. This also, just imagine the potential for fast food companies where somebody is saying something about a McDonald's burger, and your Burger Kings can send a coupon to them about some deals and happening in Burger King. So the opportunities with this kind of a system are definitely immense. So giving you back a summary of LocoBuzz, one-stop shop to get all your news, all your tweets, all your Facebook updates. Share it with your friends. Do some marketing research. Do news-based research, and generate a lot of information-based wealth. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you so much for your time.